And there we have it. We are at the end of 2025. And what a fantastic year it's been. It's been quite surreal, to be honest. I never thought the channel would get to this. I originally opened the channel in 2020 and only uploaded a few videos. Between then and 2021, I uploaded a few videos. I never really started doing YouTube on like a weekly basis until it was 2022, February 2022. So we're coming up to 3 years of the channel where this has been a consistent thing for me. It is quite surreal to me. It's quite hard to put into words how much the channel has grown over the past year compared to the last 2 years. We have passed 20,000 subscribers. So in the first 2 years, it took us 2 years to get to 10,000 subscribers. We got 10,000 subscribers in 1 year. So that kind of number is crazy to me. It's 10 times the size of my entire childhood, which I just think is crazy. But yeah, thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the channel, and thank you all for watching and all your support, all your messages telling me where I screwed up, and all of your suggestions of what I should do next. It's one of the things that keeps the ideas flowing and the channel going, is just all the ideas that you guys throw my way. But anyway, I want to do something that I was going to do for the 15,000 subscriber milestone back in July, but passed it so quick, and then I got mixed up with personal life stuff and focusing on doing videos. So I am going to do it now. We've had so many questions come in, over 60 easily, but I've whittled it down to 20 questions for you all, because I do think, because we are at 20,000 subscribers, so I thought, why not do one question per 1,000 subscribers? Also keeps this video time-wise down a bit, because otherwise if I sat here and answered 60 questions, you would probably be very bored by then. I'm not that interesting, to be honest. Right, question number 1. Do you have any reviews of Inverness Airport? Yes, I have several reviews of Inverness Airport. Well, not reviews of Inverness Airport, but reviews going through Inverness Airport. One of my favourite airports in Scotland, and actually my father's favourite airport in Scotland. It's just such a nice airport. We'd go through it more if they had more routes, but they sadly don't have as many routes as they probably should. I'd definitely like to see more routes to Europe going through 2026. I know Air Baltic are running a route to, I think it's Tenerife. Might get on that, might not. But one that I am looking forward to is Wick Airport, or starting flights again. Going to do that one. But yeah, have I been through Inverness Airport? Absolutely. Fantastic airport. The staff are great, and it's got one of the best cafes for plane spotting. Not that I do plane spotting a lot. Question 2, and this one's quite good. How do you juggle your job and YouTube? Well, it's quite simple for me, because I work shifts. So I work 4 on 4 off, which means I have 4 days off to go and travel, edit videos, and yeah, I do 12-hour shifts, 4 days on, 4 days off. Makes it easier. It means I don't have to use like holidays so much to go and do this, but yeah, it suits me very well, the 4 on 4 off, to be able to do YouTube. And yeah, that's basically it. I get the time off in big chunks, but I do work long hours when I am working, so there's nothing more to say really. It is a lot of work. It does mean some sacrifices in personal life to go and travel, and especially the editing. It means missing out on some activities with friends and everything, because you obviously have to put a lot of time into editing. I think I tallied it up. Each video takes between 20 and 30 hours to edit with all the editing I do, because I do like a lot of color correction and stuff like that, and audio editing. I'm constantly trying to improve that, because I want the experience to be as good for you as it was for me to go and do. But anyway, question 3. What made you want to become a YouTuber? To be honest, I don't really feel like a YouTuber. People tell me I am, but this all just started because I traveled a lot anyway, and my friends told me I should video my travels, video my flights. Yeah. I still, to this day, don't really call myself a YouTuber. It's a hobby. I used to like filmmaking, I used to like filmmaking a lot. We lost touch with a lot of people from like filmmaking community over COVID, so never really took that up any further than I did back in the day when I was a young, not teenager, but like when I was in my early 20s doing filmmaking. Never really went anywhere with that. So it's a good way of combining the two, my passion for filmmaking and my passion for travel. Don't really have any other reasons than that. It's a good hobby because it combines two of my other hobbies. I'm sorry I can't give anything more inspirational. Some people will say things like they want to change the world and that kind of stuff. I just want to entertain people, have a good time, showcase things that I see, showcase things that I do. If maybe later on I might find a mission that I feel passionate about and want to convey. I suppose you could say one of the missions of the channel is to show how accessible travel can be to people. I feel like a lot of people have come to the channel for that, which I love the fact that I can pass on some kind of knowledge. I don't claim to know everything. I never have. Yeah, but it's nice that I can pass on some kind of knowledge and you guys find value in that. But yeah, that's all I can really say about that. I'm trying to think of something, but there isn't really much else I can do for that. Question 4. What's your aspiration for the channel? See, this is a tough one because I recently did an interview with the Press and Journal couple months back and I got asked the same thing. Is this going to be my full-time thing? And the answer is I don't know. I'll keep working away at the channel as I do, keep making videos. I suppose an aspiration for the channel would be, I mean, obviously to grow the channel as much as possible, but I think that's an aspiration that every single YouTuber in existence has, that they want to grow huge. So I obviously want the channel to grow as much as it can. But I think if I had one aspiration for it to be a place where people can just escape from the day-to-day mundane, I have tried to cultivate that as much as possible through things like banning things like political talk, and I don't allow any kind of political talk along those lines on the channel. I want the channel to be a place where people can come share in what they like, be it travel, aviation, that kind of stuff, and escape from the real world for a few minutes. I think that's really important in these times, is just to get away from everything bombarding you. So I think that's my aspiration for the channel. Of course, people will ask me about money. I know that. Money-wise, I'm sinking a lot of my own personal money into it. Patrons help so much. I wouldn't be able to do the channel if it weren't for the help of patrons and YouTube channel members. If I had an aspiration on that front, it would be that to get it to the point where I could stop putting my personal money into it, because there are obviously things in my personal life I want to do, but YouTube takes up a bit of time for that. But it's not money that I begrudge at all, because I love traveling and I will always travel, so I'll just record it anyway. So, but yeah, if it could pay for itself, that'd be great. But as in terms of what I want the channel to be, a place for people to escape. Question 5. What's your favorite country or city that you've visited? See, this is a tough one for me because I don't think you can, it's hard to have favorites. I find the more you travel, the less likely it is you are to have favorites, because you realize that places are just so diverse and different. And yeah, you can't compare, it's like comparing oranges to apples, that old saying. You can't really compare the two if you like pick two cities or two countries. I do like smaller countries. There's one thing I do like. I like the small countries because I always find the way they do things are a little different from the big countries. And then when I say big countries, I mean like your UKs, your Frances, your Germanys, your Italys. I like the little countries like Montenegro or Switzerland or Iceland, Norway, Denmark, Hungary, these kind of small countries. Out with Europe as well. If I was to be asked what continent do I like? Asia, Africa, love those continents. Fantastic places. Really want to visit more of them in the coming year, and definitely planning for that. So if you'd ask me, my favorite city or country are going to be the small, quirky ones. That's what I'm going to say. I can't pick one. Question 6. What has been your worst flight experience? Now, this is quite an easy one, to be honest. I was flying on the Flybe 2.0 back when the channel was starting. I was doing a second flight on it, and we got an ACMI aircraft of Swift Air, I believe it was. Might not be them, might be someone else. I believe it was Swift Air. And the cabin crew were awful. Just awful. And of course, I was still anxious about filming like aviation stuff and things like that, filming airports. I was like, oh, am I going to get into trouble, all this kind of stuff. And the cabin crew threatened to sue me, so obviously I didn't post that video. In hindsight, I maybe should have called them out on it, but I didn't post that video. It was quite fun. So yeah, that was easily my worst flight. Just terrible, terrible cabin crew. The flight itself was fine. It was a bit of a shame though that I didn't get the Flybe -8, but it went bust anyway. I've got a video covering why they went bust. Flybe 2.0 didn't last very long, did it? Question 7. What is your favorite airline and aircraft type? Again, it's like the visiting countries one. The more I travel, the more I find I don't have favorites with airlines, because different airlines have different things that I like and dislike. People that can rank airlines, I just think it's a follies game, because no airline's perfect to everything and no airline is terrible at everything. I very much try to balance things out fairly. Take Ryanair, for example. The product is so basic, it's sparse, and you get seats, and that's basically it. You get some on-board service, but they offer fantastic fares, and it's opened up travel to everyone. So yeah, those it's pros and cons of everything. So I can't really choose a specific airline. I do have some airlines that I go to quite regularly. EasyJet, I think, is a good example of a line where you can draw to have like good customer service mixed with the budget airline style of doing things. If you were to go high-end legacy carriers, I like Virgin Atlantic, Singapore Airlines, Emirates. Yeah, those three are pretty good from what I've found. But then again, even smaller legacy airlines do well in certain things, like Sri Lankan Airlines. They do really well with their food, but their planes are terrible. Can't really pick. Again, I'm not a person that ranks things like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think you can do that. If you're being fair, you can't really do that. The more airlines you travel on, the less able you are to do that, I find, unless you have like blinkers on or have like prejudices or things like that. I don't know. There might be some factors that allow people to do that. Question 8. Have you ever considered yourself being a pilot? Yes. Previously, I have. I did want to become a pilot for a while, but I then saw the cost, and I'm not a really wealthy trooper like others out there. I don't have bundles and bundles and bundles of money. I'm just a person with a camera. And while I would love to become a pilot, I have much more important things to focus on right now. But if an airline wants to approach me and offer me a training course, then I'd gladly take it, but I can't justify taking all that time and money out of my personal life and what would be YouTube. So yes, I've considered it, but no, for the foreseeable future, I'm not going to pursue it. So that's that. Question 9. Where do you look for flights when planning a trip, and what helps you decide? Well, for this one, it's pretty simple. Google Flights is a good one. Skyscanner is fantastic. For deciding on stuff, it usually comes down to price, the pairing of flights, whether you get a return ticket cheaper than a single ticket, is all cost proposition, because when you have to travel as much as I do to keep the channel going, it comes down to how many trips and flights and activities can I get out of the budget I have. So that really comes down to it, which means usually if there's a flight I want to do, I will position myself on a Ryanair flight or a Pegasus flight or something really, really cheap. Get it as cheap as I can get it. Just tough it out and then do the expensive bit. That's what I did for the Emirates A350, the first ever long-haul flight on the Emirates A350. I flew from Edinburgh to Sharjah airport on Pegasus and then just got public transport from Sharjah to Dubai airport and stayed the night in probably the cheapest hotel I could. I think it was a Premier Inn at the time and it was like £40. So yeah, that's generally how it goes. I try and do things as cheaply as possible. Yeah, try and make it work one way or the other. But definitely if you're looking for flight deals, go on to Google Flights or Skyscanner because their search engines are actually really good. So definitely give those a try. Question 10. And I quite like this one. What advice would you give to new aviation YouTubers? Well, the advice I would give is simply, if you're new, don't worry about whether your video is going to be good, whether the video is going to be bad, how you're going to edit it, all that kind of stuff. You can get editing software for free. Everybody's got a camera on their phone. If you want to get like a secondhand GoPro or something, whatever, secondhand camera, whatever, doesn't matter any of that. Most people have some kind of equipment where they can start making videos. If you want to do it, just do it. That's something I struggled with at the start. So that's why I opened my channel in 2020 and didn't start regularly uploading until 2022. I only did videos here and there because I was obsessing over details that just stopped me getting consistent with it. Consistency is king, I find. If you're consistent with it, your improvement will come over time. That's the advice I would give, and the advice I'll always give is, if you want to do it, just start off terribly, make a video, put it out there, don't worry about it, make another video, put it out there, don't worry about it. Besides, the first few videos you do, you're not going to get a lot of views most of the time. Unless you get like a viral hit straight away, you're not going to get a lot of views. So don't worry about what people think. Just get out there, do it. And yeah, consistency. Growth through consistency. And you will improve. Your quality of your videos will improve. You can then decide, oh, I need to upgrade this bit of kit so that this bit of the video can be better. Or I can do this editing technique and make it this better. Or I can improve my speaking to camera by having a script or bullet points or something like that. Just start. That's all I would say. Start but maintain consistency. And that's what I would say to that one. Question 11. Have you been to Malta, and would you review its airports and national airline? Yes, I've been to Malta many, many years ago. Would I review their airlines? Of course I would. No airlines are out of bounds. You asked me to do a specific airline. I think it's KM of Malta Airlines now. I will happily do KM Malta Airlines, and I have been looking at doing KM Malta Airlines because Malta is a country, again, I like small countries. Malta is a country I very much like to visit. I haven't been to the smaller island of Malta. Would like to go there. A lot of history in Malta. Lot of history. Fascinating history. I'm a bit history buff. Do like a bit of history. So yeah, we'll definitely try and do that in the coming year. Question 12, and this one is from an old friend of mine. As a subscriber since we were 12, I did have a filmmaking YouTube channel. When can we meet up for a catch-up or a flight together? Well, my friend Reese, we can do that whenever you want. I'm free when I'm not working. So message me and we'll coordinate it. And I guess I have to put you in a video now. It's on camera. Everybody let me know down below if you'd like to see one of my friends in my videos. Oh, that's fantastic. But yeah, we can definitely do a flight together somewhere. To me, it doesn't matter. You might have a preference, or you might have a flight you want me to do. We can decide who decides where we go. But yes, we can absolutely do that. Question 13. What's the most underwhelming travel experience you've had? That's a tough one. I think the most underwhelming travel experience I've ever had. It's hard because every travel experience is different and they all throw up their unique experiences. Not entirely sure on that one. I think one of the most underwhelming ones was flying on an airline like French B, just because of the fact that everything worked. It was hyped up to be like this. It was going to be super cramped and everything. But the flight itself went fine. The seats were narrow, seating 343 and an A350 obviously have very narrow seats. But the crew and everyone were fine. It was just like a regular transatlantic flight. So in terms of that kind of underwhelming, yes, if there was a trip to be underwhelming where I was disappointed in the trip, I can't say I've ever had one where I was super disappointed. Maybe Portugal, just because it was like one of my first trips on the channel. Everything I planned to do so much and it was all just raining. Again with the Christmas special, but we can't put down a country like Finland or Portugal because of the weather. We can't control the weather, obviously, so we can't put them down for that. But yeah, probably that trip and the French B flight, the Portugal trip and the French B flight were my two most underwhelming ones. Still super fun. I happily go back to Portugal in a heartbeat. Love the country. It's one of my favorite countries in Europe, but I was just unlucky. I got rained on constantly. You can go back and look at those if you want. But yeah. That's what I would say. Again, I can't really complain a lot at what I do. A lot of people will complain about this, that, and the next thing for travel, but I am aware that I am super lucky to be able to do this. I try and treat it fairly. I give things an even-handed approach, which I wish more people would try and do. I sometimes get tired of seeing other people not being fair or not owning up to their mistakes, especially in the aviation space. Yeah, it's full of big personalities, I will say. It's full of big personalities that, yeah, I don't know how to say it really. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I guess I'm just trying to say I would like to see more balanced approaches to things. That's all really. So yeah, most underwhelming experiences, Portugal and French B, although they weren't particularly underwhelming. So that's my answer. Question 14. Are there any other YouTubers you would want to collaborate with? Absolutely. I'm open to collaborating with anyone. If you're wanting specific people, I've collaborated with Josh Cahill before. We had all the aviation YouTubers over to Glasgow for the Global Airlines flight over to New York. I was actually the one that organized us all to go for a couple of drinks and then dinner. It was me and I think Josh Cahill, one of his patrons as well. Me and him were messaging and organized for like Noel Phillips, Josh Cahill, Swiss001, Dan from Infinite Flight, Gabriel, all these kind of people to meet up like a YouTuber meets, have drinks, have a meal. We selected the restaurant and everything. So it was pretty good. I also had to translate to them because I don't think any of them could understand the Glasgow accent. So we were translation guys for the day. But yeah, if there's any other YouTubers I want to collaborate with, I'm open to collaborating with people. If people want to message me, carry on. Message me. We'll try and work something out. As for reaching out I can't think of anyone particularly that I would reach out to that I don't already know. Obviously going to AvCon in April. If you go to the AvCon website, you'll see me down there. You'll see all the big creators as well, a lot of the aviation space. Get yourself some tickets if you want to come to Atlanta and see me and some of the big aviation creators. That's a collaboration that's happening. So yeah, come along, have a look. But if any small YouTubers want to message me and collaborate, I'm obviously open to that as well. So is there people I want to collaborate with? Yes, but do I know who? Not really. I'm sorry, I'm not the best at that. Like I say, I don't really consider myself a massive YouTuber. So yeah, it's a bit of a tough one for me. Anyway, that's my answer again. Question 15. What's your thought on Luton Airport expanding? This is quite a niche one, actually, and I like niche specific questions like this. I think it's fantastic. The UK is severely lagging behind in airports. What I wish, though, is that more airports would be expanded away from London. I'm a big advocate of the CSA projects that we had back in the 2010s, I believe. The Central Scotland Airport, where they would close Glasgow International and close Edinburgh and build a sort of Manchester Gatwick-sized airport in the middle between Glasgow and Edinburgh, something like that, to improve connectivity in Scotland. And I think Manchester Airport needs an overhaul as well. That's not great at the moment. And some of the regional airports as well, like Leeds needs a good expansion. I think the airport's hamstrung a bit by its public transportation connectivity. I think there's only buses that go there. So yeah, I would like to see expansion for a lot of the other UK airports, not just the London ones. But in terms of Luton getting expansion, it needs it. I would be in favour of a second runway at Stansted as well. Stansted, I think the runway is just overused so much that they do need a second runway, which where Stansted is quite easily done. Same with Luton. Luton, I think, needs a new terminal at least, or a second terminal. And if they can get another runway there, then fantastic. I'm all for expansion of airports because it's sorely needed in the UK. That's why the UK is one of the most expensive countries to fly out of. Question 16, and this is a fantastic one. I love this one. Would you do more African airline or airport reviews or do an African tour? Yes, absolutely I would. Africa is a continent I love. It is a fantastic place. Every time I go there, it's just so vibrant and there's so much energy in the place. You can really see that it is up and coming. A lot of African countries, they are getting the act together. They are moving forwards. They're bringing back a lot of legacy airlines. They're building new airlines. It is a fantastic place to go, and I'm definitely going to be there this year. The video is out yet, but I've done Accra now in Ghana, which will be out in the new year. But I will be doing more and more African airlines as the year progresses and into the future, obviously. It's a continent I just love. Asia as well. Love Asia. I'm going to be doing more of that as well. South America, haven't got to yet, but definitely going to see if I can get to South America this year. All things going well, definitely going to see if I can get to South America this year. But Africa for next year is definitely on the list. Question 17, and this is kind of two questions. How far in ahead do you book trips and what are your top 5 bucket places to visit? Well, the typical rule is 6 weeks to 3 months in advance. is how long I book a trip. However, if something special comes up, I will book it immediately, regardless of when it is. Like the Global Airlines flights, for example, or the SkyUp flights with Ukraine Airlines SkyUp from Chisinau. Just booked that straight away and got the time off work to go and do it. But typically it is 6 weeks to 3 months in advance, that sort of time period, because that's when I find flight prices are at their best and things like train timetables are out, bus timetables, or you can plan out all the transportation around it and you get the best flight prices. So that's typically my time range. Top 5 bucket places. Okay. Let's rattle off a few. I've got loads, but top 5, let's rattle off a few we can put in the top 5. Svalbard, Bhutan, Antarctica. Really want to go to Antarctica. I consider this bucket list places space. I really want to do a space flight. We'll never be able to afford it. I accept that. But if we're talking about bucket list items, definitely on my bucket list. This is number 5. The 5 and 5. Can't think of it. Can't think of anything. Definitely places out of the ordinary. So there's your top 4. I'll say that for my 5th one. Anything out of the ordinary. That's definitely on my bucket list. Anything out of the ordinary. Those are my top 5. Not in any particular order. Question 18. And this is a crucial question, especially if you're in Scotland. And especially if you've flown Logan Air. Tunnock's Wafer or Walker's Shortbread. For me, obviously, you must know it is a Tunnock's Wafer. There is not a better biscuit in the sky. However, shortbread is always a strong contender, but you can't beat a Tunnock's Wafer. Sorry, you just can't. Question 19, and this is similar to the one earlier. What advice would you give to someone in the aviation YouTube space trying to reach 100 subscribers? Exactly the same advice I gave before. Just make as many videos as you can, be consistent, and you'll get there. You just will. You will find your audience. You absolutely will find your audience if you just keep at it. As the saying goes, build it and they will come. Doing 1 or 2 videos is not building it. Building it means building a channel, which means being consistent and making video after video after video after video without worrying too much about, is this perfect? Is that perfect? That will come in time. So again, it's the same as my answer from before. Just be consistent. And just do it. Question 20, and this is a crucial one for the coming year, I think, so I saved this one for last. What do you look for when you're choosing flights, and how do you choose where you're going? What I look for when I'm choosing flights is, have I done it before? Is it something people want to see? Is it a bit unique? Those are the kind of factors I choose, and is it affordable? Because I obviously don't have limitless money. I would like to say I have limitless money, but I don't. So yeah, those are the factors I look at. Is it unique? Is it something people want to see? And is it interesting? Where do I decide to go? Usually where the flight takes me. That is one factor. Or if it's a destination I've wanted to see for a long time, because I think it might be a unique destination. That's one as well. So yeah, that's that. But anyway, people, that's the Q&A for the 20,000 subscriber milestone on the channel. And I just want to say thank you so much. You have all been great in your support, and you've been great in helping me stay on track. So keep the suggestions coming, keep the criticism coming. Criticism is one of the ways, especially constructive criticism, is one of the ways I keep improving the channel. So thank you for your support, and thank you for sticking around these past nearly 3 years. And yeah, here's hoping 2026 is a fantastic year. I hope you have a fantastic Hogmanay, and I hope you have a fantastic new year with your family. And I hope whatever your aspirations are, you manage to make progress or achieve them, or at least get started on them in 2026. But anyway, people, I hope you enjoyed this Q&A. And again, thank you so much for doing this channel just one of the most enjoyable things anybody could ever ask for. But anyway, people, I'm going to leave you here. We'll see you in the next year. And of course, there's one last thing.
be for God and